My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Leos. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing your general love reading, your 5 card spread. But before I do that, I want to offer these 24 red roses as a token of my love and appreciation for your love, support, and devotion towards my channel. And thank you so much for joining me today as well. So, this 5 card love reading includes where the first card represents you, the second, the other person, the third, relationship, fourth, the past, and fifth, the future. Then I'm going to draw a vampire oracle for you and a favole and 1 card from the French tarot deck of Le Tarot Interdit Vampiria. But let's get started with card number 1, which is for you, and you get Death. Scorpio energy, if you even have Scorpio placements, are even also known as one of the cards I pulled for the vampire. Okay. For the single ones, but you could always be in a relationship, I see a rebirthing taking place. So this rebirthing is pretty much maybe you're doing like some kind of personal makeover. Maybe you're getting yourself like any kind of rejuvenation. But there's definitely this new beginning on the rise for Leo placements out in this world. And the thing about, any kind of rebirthing is, maybe you're actually, just, just having yourself like a real personal, maybe physical makeover. Maybe you're actually, going back to some kind of academic institution. Maybe you're in the process of going in between jobs or careers or whatever it may be. But this is definitely also about just kind of, letting go of what's not serving for you. Though normally that would happen for a death reverse, but I'm just kind of throwing out some general thoughts there because it is just a general love reading for Leos. But that's kind of what I see is that for both, the ones who are in a relationship, the single ones in courtship, is that you're definitely, having, this big change within yourself. Or if you're even in a relationship, you might even want to kind of change course in other ways. Maybe you're hoping to find some kind of like change in direction. Maybe, like a divorce or breakup in other ways. But I kind of want to verify that with the rest of the cards to see if that is what's going on. But of course, everybody, could be going through any kind of situation nonetheless. The other person, 10 of Swords, painful ending. Okay. What I'm kind of seeing here is, it's like you're kind of going through this big change because of this painful ending. If this was even in a singlehood for Leos or the ones who have just ended some kind of, divorce or breakup situation in other ways. But the painful ending could also be saying goodbye to your singlehood and entering into a relationship, well, whether it's engagement or marriage for that matter. But here it's definitely, you're going through this rebirthing because, something within you also kind of ended in other ways. And maybe that's why, maybe you're doing like therapy sessions. Maybe you're trying to do like relationship sessions, what have you, and stuff like that. I mean, I mentioned this to, I think, even like Aries or Taurus, if you have any of those placements, but they were also kind of like going through like, ways of how to approach other people and stuff like that. And so if you pretty much just think, okay, it's like I want to, we'll see how I can engage or approach this person and stuff like that. But I'm mostly seeing that, something is just, wasn't really working out. Maybe you did experience some kind of breakup or divorce because for the other person to be receiving a 10 of Swords, maybe you're the one, that broke up with this person. Because maybe you're just thinking, well, I want to actually start focusing on my own voyage, my own goals, my own career, my own quests and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's like, well, this is kind of like a solo, journey, and sad but true. I'm going to have to then, let you go and stuff like that. So maybe the other person is suffering and heartbreak in other ways that we haven't come across the 3 of Swords. But anyway, let's see what the relationship is or was about. Hierophant, Taurus energy. So what I'm mostly getting here is, it's like I do see that there was a breakup or divorce, in this relationship. Because the thing is, it's like, or you could have also, ended and, walked into like a engagement or marriage as well. But it just kind of just seems like that, this relationship didn't really work out. It does look like it was some kind of like a divorce or breakup in other ways. But anyway, it's like, to each their own. I want to wish you all the best of luck and wherever it may take you. Maybe you are actually doing a lot of rebirthings within yourself, and maybe you are saying goodbye to singlehood and you're going to eventually get married. Maybe you have Scorpio or air placements, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or maybe the other person could be an air sign. Because in the past, because you know what I think I recalled in one of your love readings that you're the one that actually started off with the Prince of Grills, where you're the one that actually wanted to propose to somebody or somebody was going to propose to you. Well, the Prince of Grails is an offering. And this is what I actually saw you doing was in the past, you pretty much just thought, okay, it's like, I tried to propose to this person, or maybe this person tried to propose to me, but it just, isn't clicking immediately. It's not the right time. It's not the right person, what have you, in other ways. I know I'm kind of saying saying it a bit too loose and too laissez-faire, but the point is I always love to kind of come across this as a, instant, person rather than just trying to, just over-explain and, whereas you pretty much already personally know what the whole crux of that message is for that matter. But yeah, it just looked like, that there was some kind of offering that took place in the past, but it just wasn't meant to happen. Because, you were probably hoping to find some kind of marriage in other ways with whoever that person was, and it just didn't work out. Though, be rest assured, you get sun in the future. Maybe you might eventually have to let go of your current person to be in your true spotlight position of being the Leo 9 energy, because this is one of your beautiful major arcanas in this entire 78 card tarot deck. But you could also end up with maybe a fellow Leo as well, and maybe, this is you and the fellow Leo eventually, finding love and stuff like that. But either way, I do see that there's a big change on the rise. I see, something does have to end, but the point that I kind of want to make, come across as is, it's like, sometimes these silver lining moments are meant to happen, because then eventually, you might, like even when it comes to any kind of uncomfortable situations, painful situations, is that you realize that it's pretty much for the best, and then you can pretty much live the life that you want and need to live in other ways. So, let's see what Oracle says. Death rites, saying goodbye, formal occasion, and honoring lives. Now, this is also kind of like the death rebirthing cards in other ways, because the thing is, it's like saying goodbye, maybe you are saying goodbye to, your singlehood because of this painful ending. Maybe you're going to be having a formal occasion of marriage, and maybe you're going to be honoring lives in the future of whoever you're pretty much currently with. So, in the end, it kind of looked like a little bit of a turbulent kind of, love reading for today, but it actually just shows that it's pretty much going to be a beautiful outcome either way. So, and that's kind of what I hope for my beautiful Leos, is because it looked like that you did try to do something, but it just didn't work out. Maybe the other person, maybe this was an offering of breakup and divorce in the past, and the other person was just so distraught by it, and here you are actually going through the whole metamorphosis, change, what have you, and here is a beautiful rebirthing in the future. So, let's see what Favoli wants to say. Queen of Flowers, also known as the Queen of Cups. So you might eventually be with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio individual, but there's definitely love, caring, and healing in the future for you as well. Or maybe it could be with somebody who is Leo in Cancer, Leo, what have you, in other ways. But there's definitely a love, caring, and supportive and nurturing, but especially healing individual on its way towards you. So, or maybe you're the one that's going to be doing a lot of healing because of this rebirthing or change. But either way, you will end up in a very loving, caring, and supportive and nurturing environment nonetheless. But you could still also be in a singlehood doing a lot of healing and caring and rebirthings and stuff like that. So, let's see what the French Tarot deck wants to conclude with. Cavalier de Miroir. So this is kind of like the Page of Cups. So I do see some kind of daydream, but mind you about the Page of Cups in other ways is this is pretty much also kind of a bit of an illusion. Because the thing is, it's like, I know that a lot of humans, whenever they've experienced any kind of like negative feelings or thoughts, then they pretty much just want to run into some kind of fiction, mindset or story and just think, okay, it's like, I need to escape the sense of reality. That's why a lot of people love to watch those media shows or even read literature so they can just escape their current situation and, delve into any kind of like entertainment for that purpose. But the thing is if you're hoping to head off towards some kind of daydream of whatever it may be in other ways, I do see, there is a daydream on its way, but you want to make sure that it is a realistic daydream and not something that's going to be, causing more rebirthing moments, let's say, or death moments, but I don't really per se see that. But yeah, this person is, could also be on its way. It could be definitely Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio that's heading off towards you, or maybe you're heading off towards a water sign. But other than that, Yeah, that's what I have for my beautiful Leos. So sad but true. I'm gonna have to leave it at this for now. But next week I'm going to do Dracula again because we are heading off towards a beautiful spooky season of All Hallows Eve. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly. So I just want to wish you all the best of luck on where this journey may take you. Yeah. I mean, it does look like there's a lot of, change on the rise and stuff like that, but hopefully it'll definitely benefit you. But anyway, but anyway, please feel free to stay tuned for the upcoming All Hallows Eve performance. I really hope you guys will love it either way. But other than that, thank you again. I love you guys and take excellent good care of yourself.